Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
Good Wednesday morning. Yes, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We thought it'd be a great time to talk about how to make a great Thanksgiving meal. And we're joined now by Chef Geoff Tracy. Chef Geoff Tracy's got Chef Geoff downtown, Leah's and Chevy Chase, Hank's Tavern and Eats in Hyattsville, Chef Jeff's and Tyson's. Got a restaurant everywhere. Good morning, Chef Geoff. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
All right, here's what I want to know. What's the most likely way that people ruin a great Thanksgiving meal?
There's probably a couple. Overconsumption is one of them.
Guilty as charged.
Yes. Is good. Way overconsumption. Your uncle starts to get really annoying at that point.
Right.
I think from a culinary perspective, I think the biggest mistake people do is, I remember as a kid, my mom would wake up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and throw the turkey in there.
Right.
We'd eat the turkey about 6 o'clock in the evening. At that point, it's about 400 degrees internal temperature. And, that makes for a very dry turkey. So, you're trying to get it to 165 degrees internal temperature throughout, and that's juicy turkey.
Do you enjoy Thanksgiving meals? I mean, is that a fun thing to make as a chef, or is it just, kind of mundane?
No, I think it's fun. I love the tradition. I'm very fortunate. I have about 26 people showing up to my house tomorrow.
Wow.
And I get to do the cooking for them. And, I get to use my restaurants to sort of do a little bit of the prep for me, and so I can just do the fun stuff.
That's good to be you.
I think the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, and the turkey.
Now, hold it. You just said the word stuffing. And
brace yourself, Chef Geoff.
You're getting dragged into
Do we have a southerner?
Yes, I have been singing the praises of that southern delicacy, that manna from heaven known as cornbread dressing. So where are you on the issue of cornbread dressing?
I guess I would say I'm north of the Mason-Dixon line on that one. But I kind of grew up. I grew up in New England. Dressing was something that you do in the morning.
Oh. All right, touche.
Have you ever tried cornbread dressing?
Yeah, have you ever had my cornbread dressing?
I'd like to try your cornbread dressing.
Well, you can go to WMAL.com/morning majority, and there's the recipe.
I will check out the recipe, absolutely.
But Chef Geoff, I want to ask you, as far as overconsumption is concerned, the thing that I always have problems with is noshing on hors d'oeuvres. And then by the time dinner comes, I almost don't even want to touch that turkey.
I understand. Thanksgiving is a 12-hour eating period. I think that's typical. I think it's going to happen. Yeah, you just have to go. You have to go slow.
Yeah, my brother's philosophy is he starves himself all day, which I don't think is the greatest thing to do. No. But he's big into that because I think actually if you eat a little bit of a breakfast, you have more room for expansion.
You got to stretch the stomach. Yeah, that's right. So you can be ready for later in the day.
My favorite meal at Thanksgiving is actually on the day after Thanksgiving, where you take a little bit of that turkey, you put it in some bread, some cranberry sauce, some stuffing, and then just sort of pound it up with some mayonnaise, and that's my favorite.
What is the most exotic thing that you've heard for Thanksgiving, or that you've made for a Thanksgiving meal?
We tried. I tried sort of on the side. I tried to do a little bit of pheasant once. And that was one dry bird. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good.
What's the best? What's the best advice you can give for somebody who's going to make a turkey? Perhaps somebody's making a turkey for the first time today to make sure it's nice and juicy.
Yeah, a turkey is a tough little thing to cook because it's 15, 20 pounds. My advice, and this is the way we do it in all the restaurants to keep it nice and juicy, the day before we actually break down all the turkeys. So we cut it into wings, thighs, legs, breasts. We remove the bones. We make the stock. We reduce the stock and make the gravy out of it, and then you can basically cook all the various parts of the turkey in less than 1 hour. And
wow,
you can control it because the breasts are so big on these things. The thighs are, it's kind of a contorted animal the way we've sort of processed.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the picture, but you may get a good.
You don't get the picture, but everybody actually enjoys the food.
Yeah,
and you can take another one and roast that one off for the picture.
All right, here's my question though, and this is not a visual medium, so it's sort of hard to explain. But people really struggle with that moment where the bird comes out and you've got to actually carve it.
Right.
Do you have any suggestions?
We can blame Norman Rockwell for that. Right?
Any tips on how to effectively carve a turkey?
Yeah, you really have to do it, the way a professional chef would do is you basically, you're going to take off the breast. Once you have the roasted turkey, you still need to take off the breast because you're trying to carve a knife into that little thing, and it's got the thigh and the leg there. Much easier to just remove the parts and then deal with them in the sort of that smaller.
That's an interesting thought.
You get a nicer cuts and stuff like that.
Never thought of that. That's a great idea.
Okay, but what about this? We just had like a Mike Huckabee promo come on about like say fried or bake. As far as turkeys are concerned, how do you like to sort of prepare your turkey as far as fried or bake is concerned?
I roast them, but I will never argue with anything that's fried. I think it is a superior cooking method. You do have to be careful. There's all sorts of homes that will burn down tomorrow because someone's frying their turkey in their garage. But you just need to be careful with it. Make sure it's nice and dry. Frying is a great way to keep things nice and moist, and you get real crispy and golden brown on the outside. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's very nice of you because you do this for a living on a regular basis. This is your job to cook, and tomorrow you're actually going to cook for your family. I would hope that you at least don't have to wash the dishes tomorrow night.
I am done at that point. Once I do the cooking, I make the biggest mess that I possibly can. And then I just, start enjoying the red wine.
I was hoping you were going to say, leave it to the women to clean up after
I don't know if
No, all the women delegated to the other men.
I don't know if people know this, but you're married to CBS correspondent Nora O'Donnell. Do you just hand over the dish? Here, honey, I've done my part. It's all yours, Nora.
I know what happens.
She actually does. She does flowers and table settings, and then she doesn't do any of the cleaning.
It was great to have you on. Thanks very much, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Cheers, everyone. Hey, Brian, I'll see you at the
DC Funniest Celebrity.
I forgot about that. You're going to be a judge with Brian.
We'll be judging November 30th, the DC Funniest Celebrity. You'll be there with me, and I've been telling people I'm accepting bribes, so
I'm accepting bribes too. But my question, it features Senator Scott Brown. At this point, I'm just a little worried about how funny anybody from Congress can be.
There is that. All right.
Or laugh a minute.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Happy Thanksgiving.